Hey book friends, how are you doing today? I have been tagged in the quarter year crisis tag. Now I realize that we're just a little bit past that, so this is coming in late, but I was tagged by the wonderful, the Bookish Gnome. I hope you guys check out his channel. He's very smart. He just has good things to say about books, and he gives ratings instead of in stars in gnomes. So when you see like review that's like, would be like 3.5 stars, it's 3.5 gnomes. Get it? Like the little hat of the gnome is like your half a star. It's hysterical. He is so much fun. So please, please, please go check out his channel and give him some support. So today I'm going to be looking down maybe a little bit, looking at my notes and at my Kindle at the questions. So if I look down, that's why. First, let's get started with the first one. How many books have you read in 2022? And I don't have an exact number, but it's about 30. I try not to be too strict with myself on the number of books that I read because I am a person that tends to get a little obsessive about numbers. I was the kid that like, oh, I have to get like 100%. I was the kid that, you know, was obsessed with like, you know, oh, if this is the optimal number, then I have to have that. And so I try not to bring that. I was the same with weighing on the scale when I was a teenager, that aspect of me into my reading. So I do make pretty good notes on what I'm reading right now, and I do look back over my history there's 3 different libraries that I read at, and then there's the online virtual library that I read at. So I take good notes a lot of times, and then I also have those to look back on so that I know what I have read, but I try not to get too caught up in the numbers. The next question is, do you have a book that you feel like is already going to be a 2022 favorite? And if not, is there something way up there that might be like 4 stars? And for that, I will say 2 books. First is, I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to pick one, but in my mind, things are coming in 2s today. See how numbers can be a little obsessive to me? Like I'm thinking in 2s. Anyway, the first one is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I just read this recently, and the thing that I really loved about it was the themes. The themes just resonated so deeply with me. And they're so important today about how worshiping another human being is just blackens you. Vanity, just the bad company corrupting good character elements of the story just resonated so deeply in me. And the other one is a fantasy that I thought was just going to be, here's another fun fantasy read, and it's The Gilded Wolves. This is the first in the series, and I've read the first 2. I'm going to be reading the 3rd in June. And I love the found family element of the book. I love that the cast of characters is so diverse culturally, but like they also have a neurodiverse character, which I don't think that you see that often in YA fantasy. I've seen it occasionally. I know Cassandra Clare has done that as well, but it's such a good book, and I hope that you guys check it out if you like fantasy. The Gilded Wolves, it's great. All right, the next one is, what is your least favorite book you've read in 2022 so far? And I also have 2 answers for this. I actually haven't read any bad, just like horrid books in 2022. The first one that disappointed me is The Ninth House. This is a Leigh Bardugo book that deals with like the ninth house is where you would have the people in the secret societies. There's 8 supposed secret societies at Yale, and the ninth house is one that deals with all the paranormal issues with those secret societies. Interesting concept, pretty cool. My complaint with it was just that there was some sexual assault, and it was just too much for me. That was my big complaint. And then just for me personally. And then the other one is a very recent read, Mexican Gothic, which is, I do like some of those kind of old school Gothic books like Rebecca. And this one started out and it felt just like that. It felt almost a little bit in a way like it could be a slight reimagining of Rebecca, but with like a Mexican flair and some characters that just were very different than the ones in Rebecca, but there were some that were a little bit similar. So the only thing about that is that in the second act of the story. It just took, in my opinion, way too far of a left turn. It wasn't interesting enough. The mystery that was being explained to me, for some reason, it just didn't resonate with me. And it kept being a little bit out there in the third act as well. And then I felt like it did resolve the story nicely. But those were two big disappointments to me of things that I was pretty much looking forward to that didn't go quite according to plan. So the next one is, what is your most read genre so far this year? Well, fantasy was number one, followed closely by historical fiction. And then what took a kind of third tied place was classics. And I did have read some thrillers so far this year. So that's what's been on my radar so far. And I'm sure I will be branching out a little bit more into some nonfiction as the year goes on. I'm much more of a fiction reader, but I will definitely keep y'all updated on what else I add. And the next question, what is a book that you have read in 2022 that has surprised you? And this is a recent read. I had a small publisher reach out to me on Instagram and said, hey, could you get on NetGalley and read this book, and we'll give it to you, and will you please review it on Amazon and Goodreads? And I was like, okay, I can do that, having very, very low expectations, because here I am, a very small booktuber, and I don't have that many people on Instagram. It's just literally there to say what I'm doing on BookTube. But I decided to read it as a middle grade fantasy, and oh my goodness, I thought it was an excellent book. It's called The Crowns of Crosswald by D.E. Knight. And it has a Harry Potter, like Nevermore type feel to it, like those middle grade type books. But the concept of it is that their magic is done through, there's basically scribes and artists that when they draw with their magic wandish pen thing, that's when the magic happens. So they control, they're called scrivenists, and they control through their pens basically. And so there's concepts of good and evil, and that good will triumph over evil, but that it will be a struggle and it will be a battle. So I think it's good. It's very clean. It's classified by middle grade, and the whimsical quality definitely feels middle grade, but the characters are a little bit older, more YA, maybe younger, high school age. So I believe that if you have a high schooler, they wouldn't be thinking, oh, this is a little kid's book. Very clean, no language, no sex, nothing like that. I really thought that it was pretty good. So the next question is, what is a 2022 release that is already out that you have not read yet, but that you want to? And that is The Book of Night by Holly Black. The concept sounds very interesting to me. I have enjoyed many of her books. There are some that I have not enjoyed, but I do enjoy many of Holly Black's books, so I would look forward to reading that soon. The next question is, what is one goal you're succeeding at in 2022 so far? And I would say it was starting this YouTube channel. I had been wanting to do it for about a year, but I just couldn't get out of my head and was feeling kind of shy about letting people know that it was here, and just like basically asking people to pay attention to me. And I'm so glad that I started it and that I've been posting very consistently. So I'm very thankful for that. And what is one goal that you made that you want to focus on more? Okay, again, I'm going back to twos. I have two here. First of all, I want to get better at editing for this channel. And the second is I want to do more bookish nature type books with my kids in 2022. I want to get like maybe some bird books, some different rock geology type books, and I want to get outside with them, and I want to do more nature study that involve mixing books in with it. So that is a goal that I have set for myself, and hopefully we will be able to do those things this year. All right, are there any new booktubers you have come across that you want to promote? Yes, I have a list, and here we go. I know I'm going to forget somebody wonderful. Will you please forgive me, because all of the new booktubers that I have met have been so wonderful to me. I'm focusing on new ones right now. I will definitely, some point in time, try to shout out the people that have been here much before me that have been so kind and generous, but I have such an affection and a feeling of gratitude for this community. So let's get going. The first one that I want to bring up is Venus Escapes to Read. She reviews a lot of really great fantasy books. She always looks fabulous. Her thumbnails are always really great. She's just a very encouraging, nice lady. Always looks good. She looks like she could be in commercials. So go check out her channel. The next one is Man with a Hat Who Reads. He always reads books that to me are so different than what I normally would read. And he just, even if I am not interested at all, I just like his vibe. He's got good hats too. So go check out his channel. And next, Dusty Book Sniffers. I love this girl. She's in Australia, so not only is she in a different country and continent, but she's in a different hemisphere altogether from me. And I love to watch her books while I work. Watch her videos while I work out. She is very good at just explaining the book she's reading. She's like me and has a very eclectic taste. She likes fantasy, she likes historical fiction. She'll read it all. So go check out my sweet Australian friend's channel. The next one is Bandana BookMom. So I saw her the first time and I was like, another person that sees the bookish world the same way as I do. She's got a pretty eclectic taste. We both hate smut. She's just a great, mom, always has a bandana on, part of her charm. So please check out her channel. You will not be sorry. The next one is Novel Opinion, and she was one of the first ladies to welcome me to BookTube. She has such a professional, concise way of putting her information out there, and I love the way she reviews books, and I love the way she shows her in her vlogs, bookstores, and free little libraries. So go check out her channel. Luna's Library. Luna likes thrillers, and even if she's talking about a thriller that I'm not even that interested in, I do like some thrillers, don't get me wrong, but I just am on Luna's channel because there's something about her that is just so calming and so peaceful, and she's so pretty and sweet and always so encouraging to others in her comments that I just really enjoy her. So go check out, especially if you're a thriller fan. She always gives really good reviews, has very thoughtful comments. Next is Grape Jelly Library. I feel like when I watch her, that I'm just hanging out with her at her house. She just has a very welcoming vibe, and she always encourages us to drink more water. So if you're having trouble with hydration, she will remind you. Go check her out. The next one is Latasha Haynes Reads. She has really great insights in her reviews, and I feel like she, again, is another one that's very concise, and you can really get the feel of what you want to get the feel for very quickly on her channel. So definitely, if you need good, concise reviews, she's great. Next, Read Fine Books. She is the classics queen. I don't need to say much more. She really goes into detail in a way that few people ever do. I mean, she's like the Cliff Notes of BookTube. So definitely check her out. Fan of the Pages. Okay, she's very entertaining. She does really great videos. So I really think that she is fun. Go ahead and check her out. Book Lover Amanda. She is just encouraging Christian girl, reads a lot of Christian books, but actually has a pretty varied variety of books that she reads. But a lot of her stuff is going to be clean romance recommendations. And then Reading with Tatiana. She, again, is another one of these people that when I first came on BookTube, she just really, really encouraged me and gave me a lot of support. And her book reviews are very detailed, and she always gives a shout out to other BookTubers, and she always gives good explanations of the authors that wrote the book. She definitely tells us good information about them. The next one is Bethany Brings Books. Hers are primarily Christian books. She's a very encouraging person, and she just shares herself in a very personal way. And I think that she's going to, the way she is, she's going to help a lot of people who come to her channel. Alana Estelle. I just watched a video of hers, and she cracks me up. She is so funny. She's another one that just like, she looks like she could just hop on and do some commercial and print work. She always looks really good on camera. But what you're going to stay for is the fact that she's really entertaining while she talks about some classic literature. She just did a Virginia Woolf review. Her thoughts are so deep and so meaningful. Next, novel iDeea. Her name is Deea. And she does really great reviews of books that bring me such nostalgia, because some of the books that she talks about are books from my childhood. I geeked out the other day because she was talking about wanting, I think, to reread Eight Cousins, which is a Louisa May Alcott that not a lot of people have read, so that I know anyway. So definitely check out her channel. All right, Littlefoot Reader. She's maybe a couple weeks newer than I am. She's really a fun fantasy reading, mom type, and she just has a great sense of humor. And then last but not least is Pride and Paperback. And this girl has a very great array of what she reads. She reads romance, she reads fantasy, she reads classics. She's definitely a very good, concise reviewer as well. And she is a fellow Oklahoman of mine. We're both Okies. And when I saw her first newbie tag, I thought, this is a girl that I could hang with. And then when she mentioned one time that she's from Oklahoma, I was like, hey, maybe we will hang someday. So check out all these channels. I thank again the Bookish Gnome for tagging me, and I hope that you guys will have a great day and that you read a lot. Bye-bye.